The stars stretched like thin white lines against the deep black of space. HFY Park sat quietly in the pilot's chair of his scout ship, watching the endless darkness. His fingers moved carefully over the control panel, checking and rechecking the ship's systems. Outside, the emptiness of space seemed calm, but HFY knew better. In the Andromeda sector, calm could change to danger in seconds. His communication system blinked suddenly. Something was approaching. HFY's training kicked in. He wasn't just a pilot. He was a Special Forces soldier of the Earth Alliance, trained to handle any situation. His eyes narrowed as he studied the incoming signal. The shape on his screen was unlike anything he had seen before. It wasn't a standard Earth or known alien design. The ship moved with strange grace. Its silver-blue surface seemed to shimmer, almost like it was alive. No straight lines, no sharp edges, just smooth curves that made the vessel look more like a living creature than a machine. Unidentified vessel. HFY spoke into his communication system. "This is Earth Alliance Scout Ship Delta 9. Please identify yourself." Silence answered him. Then everything changed. A bright light surrounded his ship. Not a weapon, not an attack, but a strange, soft light that seemed to pulse with energy. HFY's systems went crazy. Computers blinked, screens flickered. His navigation controls stopped working. He was being pulled in. The alien ship moved closer. Its surface looked smooth like glass, but with a strange depth that seemed to move and change. HFY didn't panic. Panic was for new recruits. He was a veteran of 3 space conflicts and had survived situations that would have killed lesser soldiers. Magnetic locks engage. His small scout ship was now attached to the side of the alien vessel. HFY checked his survival suit. Oxygen levels perfect. Communication systems backup activated. Weapons within easy reach, but not drawn. He knew showing aggression could start a conflict he might not win. A soft sound came from the airlock. Not a mechanical sound. More like a whisper. Something was happening. The door opened. HFY saw them for the first time. They were tall. Taller than human women he knew. Their skin had a slight blue-green tint that seemed to change color when they moved. Smooth skin. No visible hair. Large eyes that were completely black, but seemed to reflect light like pools of liquid. All female, and all looking at him with an intensity he had never experienced before. They wore tight-fitting uniforms that looked more like a second skin than clothing. Each uniform was slightly different in color. Blues, greens, soft purples. They stood in a perfect formation, but HFY could see something in their eyes that wasn't military. It was curiosity. No, more than curiosity. Complete and total shock. One of them stepped forward. Her uniform marked her as a leader. She was slightly taller than the others, with a uniform that was deep midnight blue. Her black eyes looked HFY up and down like he was some kind of strange animal. "A male," she said, her voice sounding like multiple voices speaking at the same time. HFY kept his training. Stay calm. Observe. Do not show weakness. "I am HFY Park," he said clearly. "Earth Alliance Special Forces." The alien females looked at each other. Something passed between them. A communication he couldn't understand, but he could read body language. And right now, their body language said one thing. They had never seen anything like him before, and they were going to study him very, very closely. The containment chamber was unlike any room HFY had seen before. Walls that seemed to breathe, surfaces that changed color with each movement, lights that pulsed like soft heartbeats. Dr. Ha-Won Kim watched from behind a transparent barrier. Her black eyes were wide. Her hands moved quickly over a digital pad, recording every single detail about the human male before her. HFY stood still, completely still. He knew he was being studied, examined, analyzed. His years of Special Forces training had prepared him for interrogations, But nothing like this. The alien females moved around him, not threatening, but curious, so very curious. One touched his arm. Her fingers were long, thin, with a slight blue-green tint that matched her skin. Siok didn't move, didn't react. Military training was clear in every muscle of his body. Fascinating, whispered Dr. Howon to herself. Absolutely fascinating. The lead female, the one who had first spoken on the ship, stepped closer. Her name, as Siok had learned, was Commander Yoon-ji Lee. She looked at him like he was some kind of rare science experiment. "Explain your biological structure," she commanded. Siok raised an eyebrow. "I'm human. A male human from Earth." The aliens looked at each other. Something passed between them, a communication he couldn't understand. But their body language was clear. Confusion, shock, intense scientific interest. Another female scientist approached. Her uniform was different, more technical, more scientific. She carried a device that looked like a mix between a scanner and a medical tool. "May I?" she asked. Siok knew he didn't really have a choice, but he also knew his training. "Cooperate. Observe. Don't show weakness. Proceed," he said calmly. The scanner moved over his body. Soft blue lights danced across his skin. The device made strange humming sounds. The alien scientists whispered to each other in a language that sounded like music and wind. Dr. Howon Kim walked into the chamber. She moved with purpose. Scientific purpose. "Your genetic structure," she said, "is completely different from what we know." Siok remained calm. "I would expect so. We're from different planets." The aliens continued their examination. They were fascinated by simple things, the way his muscles moved, the texture of his skin, the sound of his breathing, his body hair, things they had never seen before. Commander Yoon-ji Lee touched his hand again. This time, she seemed almost uncomfortable, like the touch was more than just scientific. "How do you reproduce?" she asked suddenly. Siok kept his face neutral. "Through sexual reproduction, male and female, creating new life together." The chamber went completely silent. The alien females looked at each other. Shock, confusion, something else that Siok couldn't quite read. Dr. Howon's hands shook slightly as she continued recording data. The transparent walls seemed to pulse with energy. The lights changed color, from soft blue to a deep, intense purple. Siok knew one thing for certain. He was the first male these beings had ever seen, and they were going to learn everything they could about him, whether he wanted them to or not. The interrogation room was unlike anything Siok had seen before. Walls that seemed to move, chairs that changed shape to match whoever sat in them, lights that shifted colors like living things. Commander Yoon-ji Lee sat across from him. Her black eyes never left his face. Behind her, other alien females watched through a transparent wall. Their eyes were hungry, curious, confused. "Tell me about your society," she demanded. Siok took a deep breath. He knew this was more than just a simple question. This was a chance to understand each other, to create some kind of connection. "Humans have two biological sexes," he explained slowly. "Male and female. We reproduce together. We have families, communities, societies built on partnerships." The room went silent. Dr. Howon Kim, standing to the side, looked shocked. Her digital pad dropped from her hands. It floated gently to the floor. "Forgotten." "Impossible," Commander Lee said. Her voice was hard, sharp. Siok raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" The commander looked at the other females. A quick communication passed between them. Something Siok couldn't understand, but he could read body language. And right now, their body language screamed confusion. "We reproduce through genetic engineering," she explained. "Advanced cloning. Each new individual is created in laboratories, perfectly designed, perfectly matched to our society's needs. Sci-Fi realized something important. These beings had never known natural reproduction, never known the concept of family as humans understood it, never experienced the complex bonds between males and females. Their entire society was built on something completely different. No males? He asked. Commander Lee looked confused by the question. Males? Unnecessary, inefficient. We create exactly what our society needs. The other females nodded. Agreement was clear in their movements, their expressions. But Sci-Fi saw something else, a hint of something deeper, something they didn't understand themselves. Curiosity. Dr. Hawan moved closer. Her scientific mind was working fast. How do your societies make decisions, choose leaders, develop new technologies? Through collaboration. Sci-Fi answered. Different perspectives, different strengths. Males and females working together. The aliens looked at each other again. That same silent communication. But this time, something was different. A spark of something. Interest. Confusion. Something more. Commander Lee leaned forward. Explain this. Collaboration. Sci-Fi knew this was important. This was more than an interrogation. This was a cultural exchange. A chance to show these beings something completely new. In human societies, he said carefully, we believe that different perspectives make us stronger. Males and females have different experiences, different ways of thinking. When we work together, we can solve more complex problems. The room went silent again. The alien females looked at each other. Something was changing. Something they couldn't quite understand. Dr. Hawan's hands moved over her digital pad, recording everything. Every word. Every reaction. Sci-Fi knew one thing for certain. He was showing these beings a completely new way of understanding existence. And they were listening. Days passed on the alien ship. Sci-Fi felt like a living experiment. Always watched. Always studied. Commander Yoon Jae-lee couldn't stop looking at him. At first, it was just scientific curiosity. Now, something had changed. Her eyes followed him differently. Not just with the cold look of a researcher, something warmer, something she didn't understand. The other female crew members noticed. They watched her. They watched him. Sci-Fi remained calm, professional. His military training was his shield, but he could feel the tension growing. Something was changing in this strange, all-female world. During mealtimes, the aliens studied him carefully. They had special food prepared for him. Strange food, designed to match what their computers said humans needed. It looked like blue gel with small crystal pieces. Eat, Commander Lee would say. He ate, always polite, always careful. The ship's medical officer, a thin female with silver markings on her uniform, watched his every bite. Her scanner moved constantly. Recording. Analyzing. Your body reacts differently to our nutrition, she told him one day. Fascinating. Sci-Fi knew he was more than just a prisoner. He was a mystery, a living puzzle they were trying to solve. Commander Lee began asking different questions, not just about biology, about human emotions, human relationships, things that seemed to confuse her completely. What is love? She asked one day. The entire room went silent. Sci-Fi chose his words carefully. A deep connection between people. A feeling of caring, protecting, supporting. The aliens looked at each other. Their silent communication happened again. But this time, something was different. Commander Lee moved closer to him, closer than she had before. Her body language was changing. Something her training, her entire society, had never prepared her for. She was attracted to him, and she didn't know why. The other crew members saw it too. Tension grew. Some looked angry. Some looked curious. Some looked something else. Sci-Fi knew he was walking a dangerous line. One wrong move could turn everything bad. He had to be careful, smart, use his training. In human society, he explained carefully, attraction is complex. It's not just about biology. It's about connection, understanding. Commander Lee's black eyes never left his face. The medical officer's scanner beeped. Something was changing. In the commander, in the entire ship's environment. Siak felt it too. A strange energy, like something was about to break. Something was about to change completely. He was a male. The first male these beings had ever seen. And they were beginning to want to understand him in ways they never expected. The ship hummed around them. Alive. Watching. Waiting. Something was coming. Something big. And nobody, not Siak, not Commander Lee, not any of the alien crew, knew exactly what it would be. The ship's tension grew like a living thing. Siak could feel it. The way the female crew members looked at him, watched him, competed for his attention. Dr. Howon, Kim tried to keep things professional. She was the lead scientist. Her job was to study, to understand, not to get caught up in whatever was happening. But even she was changing. Commander Lee became more aggressive, more possessive. The other crew members noticed. Whispers filled the ship's corridors. Soft sounds, strange looks. Siak used every trick he knew. Military training, psychological defense. He would not become a prize to be fought over. One day, a younger crew member approached him. Her uniform was bright green. Her eyes were full of something he didn't understand. Desire, curiosity, something else. "Tell me about human mating," she said suddenly. The corridor went silent. Siak kept his face calm. Mating is about connection, he explained carefully. Emotional, physical, not just about reproduction. Commander Lee appeared suddenly. Her midnight blue uniform seemed to pulse with energy. "Stay away," she told the younger crew member. The tension was clear. The other female looked scared, but also excited. Siak realized something important. These beings had no understanding of personal boundaries, of social rules around attraction. Their entire society was breaking down around him. Dr. Howon watched everything. Her digital pad recorded every moment, every reaction. "Fascinating," she would mumble. "Absolutely fascinating." The ship's systems seemed to change. Lights pulsed differently. Walls shifted color. Something was happening that no one could control. Siak made a careful choice. He needed an ally, someone rational. Dr. Howon was his best option. "We need to talk," he said to her one day when they were alone. She looked surprised. No one had ever asked to talk to her before. Not like this. "About what?" she asked. "About what's happening," Siak explained. "Your crew is losing control." Dr. Howon's hands moved nervously over her digital pad. "We have no framework," she admitted, "for what we're experiencing." Siak understood. These beings had never felt real attraction before, never understood the complexity of human emotions. Commander Lee watched from a distance. Her eyes burned with something dangerous, possessive, hungry. The younger crew members watched too. Some looked scared. Some looked excited. The ship felt like a powder keg, ready to explode. Siak knew he was at the center of something big, something that could change everything. For them, and for him. One wrong move could destroy everything, or create something completely new. The ship waited, watching, listening. The laboratory was silent except for the soft beeping of machines. Dr. Howon Kim stared at her screens. Her hands shook slightly. What she had discovered would change everything. Siak genetic structure was unlike anything they had ever seen. Not just different, revolutionary. The DNA scanner moved slowly. Soft blue lights danced over the genetic samples. Each scan revealed something new, something impossible. "This cannot be real," Dr. Hawan whispered to herself. The other scientists gathered around. Their black eyes were wide, confused, excited. Siak Hayan sat quietly. He knew he was being studied, examined. But this felt different, more intense. Dr. Hawan turned to him. Her face was serious, professional, but something else showed in her eyes. Your genetic structure, she said slowly, could change everything we know about life. Siak Hayan raised an eyebrow. Explain. The screens behind her lit up. Complex genetic maps, biological structures, things no one in the room fully understood. Humans have genetic diversity we never imagined, she explained. Your cells can adapt, change, grow in ways our species cannot. Commander Yoon-jae Lee stood in the doorway. Her midnight blue uniform seemed to pulse with energy. She listened carefully. Dr. Hawan continued. Our species creates perfect clones, controlled, designed. But humans, you have something else. Randomness, unpredictability. The other scientists murmured. Some looked excited. Some looked scared. Siak Hayan understood something important. He was more than just a prisoner. He was a key to something bigger. What does this mean? He asked. Dr. Hawan's hands moved over her digital screens. It means your species has a biological advantage we never understood. Adaptability. The ability to change, to grow, to survive in ways we cannot. Commander Lee stepped forward. Her eyes burned with something new. Understanding, respect, something else. The laboratory felt charged, like something was about to break, to change completely. Our entire society is based on genetic control, Dr. Hawan said. But humans, you embrace difference, randomness, genetic variation. Siak Hayan remained calm. His military training was clear in every movement. The screens behind Dr. Hawan showed more details, genetic maps, biological structures, things that proved how different humans were. We create perfect beings, one of the other scientists said. You create possibilities. Commander Lee looked at Siak Hayan differently now, not just as a curiosity, but as something more. Dr. Hawan knew they had discovered something big, something that could change everything. The human male sat quietly, watching, waiting. The laboratory hummed with energy, with possibility. Something was about to change. Forever. The ship's alarms screamed. Red lights flashed everywhere. Siak Hayan moved quickly. Years of special forces training took over. Every movement was perfect, calculated. He knew he had to escape. Commander Yoon-jae Lee had changed. Her obsession had turned to something else, something dangerous. The ship was no longer safe. Dr. Hawan Kim helped him. She understood now. Humans were different, special, something her species could never fully understand. The secondary airlock, she whispered. Her hands moved quickly over the control panel. I can give you 5 minutes, maybe less. Siak Hayan nodded. No extra words needed. Alien crew members ran through the corridors. Confusion everywhere. Some looked angry. Some looked scared. Some looked like they wanted to capture him. The ship's walls seemed to move, change color, pulse with energy. Alarms continued to scream. Siak Hayan's special forces training was clear in every movement, silent, quick, precise. He reached the airlock. Dr. Hawan's codes worked perfectly. The door opened just a little. Behind him, he heard Commander Lee's voice, angry, desperate. Stop him, she screamed. But Siak Hayan was already moving. His small scout ship waited. Somehow, they had kept it attached to the alien vessel, a connection he would use to escape. The alien ship's systems went crazy. Lights flashed. Walls moved. The entire vessel seemed alive and angry. Siak Hayan jumped. One perfect movement. From the alien ship to his own small scout vessel, alarms continued to scream. The alien ship's weapons powered up, But they were slow, confused. They had never chased anything like this before. Siok-Hyen's fingers moved over his ship's controls. Perfect. Practiced. Outside, the alien vessel looked like a giant silver-blue creature. Angry. Confused. Commander Lee's voice came through the communication system. "You cannot escape." Siok-Hyen said nothing. Its ship moved. Fast. Perfect. The alien vessel tried to follow. But human technology was different. Faster. More adaptable. Dr. Hao-Won's voice came through a secret communication channel. "Be careful," she said. Siok-Hyen smiled. Just a little. The stars stretched around him, black and endless. Behind him, the alien ship looked lost, confused. He had escaped. But something told him this was not over. Not even close. The universe waited, watching. The Earth Alliance diplomatic ship looked massive, sleek, powerful. Siok-Hyen stood on the bridge. His report would change everything. Admiral Park Sung-min listened carefully. His gray hair was short. His eyes were sharp. He had seen many strange things in his long career. But this was different. "Let me understand correctly," the Admiral said slowly. "An entire alien species with no understanding of male existence." Siok-Hyen nodded. "Exactly, sir. They reproduced through genetic engineering. No natural reproduction. No males. No families as we understand them." The bridge was silent. Other officers listened. Their faces showed different emotions. Shock. Curiosity. Something else. Dr. Ha-Won Kim's transmission came through. Her image flickered on the main screen. She looked tired, but excited. "The genetic potential is extraordinary," she said. "Their society is completely controlled. No variation. No surprise." Admiral Park leaned forward. "And they want to learn about us." "More than that," Siok-Hyen explained. "They're confused by us, attracted to us, scared of us." The diplomatic team looked at each other. This was more than a simple first contact situation. This was something completely new. Commander Lee's ship was still following, waiting, watching. The Earth Alliance vessel's weapons were ready, but no one wanted a fight. This was a chance to understand something new. "They have no concept of individual choice," Siok-Hyen continued. "No understanding of emotional complexity." Dr. Ha-Won's transmission showed more genetic data, complex maps, biological structures that no one fully understood. Admiral Park studied the information. His fingers moved over digital screens. "We need to be careful," he said. "This could change everything we know about alien contact." Siok-Hyen understood. One wrong move could destroy everything. The ship's communication system blinked. Commander Lee wanted to talk. The bridge went silent. Her image appeared. Blue-green skin, black eyes, looking different now. Less sure, more curious. "We want to understand," she said. Admiral Park looked at Siok-Hyen. A small nod. Siok-Hyen stepped forward. "Understanding requires openness," he said carefully. "Willingness to see different perspectives." The alien commander looked confused, but also interested. The diplomatic dance had begun. Two completely different species, trying to understand each other. The universe watched, waiting. 6 months had passed since first contact. The research station orbited a distant blue planet, half human, half virulent, a meeting place of two completely different worlds. Siok-Hyen Park walked through the main corridor. His steps were calm, confident. Commander Yoon Jae-lee followed him. Her movements were different now, more careful, more understanding. Dr. Ha-Won Kim watched from her laboratory. Her digital screens showed something amazing. The first true cultural exchange between two completely different species. The virulin were changing, slowly, carefully. They were learning about choice, about individual differences, about the beauty of not being perfect. Humans brought something the Verilyn had never known: unpredictability, emotion, the ability to grow beyond design. Your society is learning, Sik-Hyen said to Commander Lee. She nodded. Her black eyes looked different, more alive, more curious. We were wrong, she admitted. Something no Verilyn had ever said before. The research station hummed with energy, with possibility. Young Verilyn scientists studied human records, human history, human emotions. They saw something they had never seen before. Chaos, beautiful chaos. Dr. Halwan's research showed something amazing. The Verilyn genetic structure was changing, slowly adapting, learning from human genetic diversity. We are becoming something new, she told the diplomatic council. Sik-Hyen remembered his first days on their ship, how different everything had been, how scared and confused they were. Now, everything was changing. The Verilyn were learning about families, about relationships, about love, concepts that had been completely alien to them before. Commander Lee approached a group of young Verilyn scientists. Tell me, she said, what do you feel about our new understanding? The young scientists looked excited, confused, happy. We are learning, one said. We are growing. Sik-Hyen smiled, just a little. The universe was big, complex, full of possibilities, and two species were learning to understand each other. The research station continued to orbit the blue planet, a symbol of hope, of possibility. Humans and Verilyn worked together, learned together, grew together. Something new was being born. A new way of understanding, a new way of existing. The stars watched, waiting.